Whiskey in the glass, golf in the mind. This is Inside the Ropes, a GolfCask original, where we dive in deep into the grain, the smoke, and the stories that bring us together. Welcome to this episode of Inside the Ropes, December 21st. This is your host, Brian Bailey, and today we're going to talk about passion with purpose. If you're listening to this at the end of your year, when most people are already making promises they won't keep, this episode is for you. This one moves in 5 parts. We start with cigars, what GolfCask Nation is actually choosing right now, from quick back nine smokes to premium statement sticks. Then we reflect with a distillery that had a year worth celebrating, fighting through, and learning from. From there, we step inside the coach's notebook and look at how real improvement happens when you finally take stock of what the numbers are telling you. Then we go on an adventure. How to keep the spirit of the game alive when the season cools off and your schedule gets a little bit messy. And before we're done, we're quietly setting the table for what starts on January 1st. Something designed to keep passion alive without turning it into homework. Remember to spark, sip, swing with GolfCask. Let's start today's show with what's lighting up right now. Cigars tell you a lot about a golfer. Not what they say they like, but what they actually reach for after a round. Is it a short window or a long sit? Bold or balanced? Statement or standby? GolfCask Nation has spoken inside of Poor Decisions, and here's what the list is telling us. Let's take a look at the top cigar rankings from GolfCask Nation. Thank you all. The budget side. Quorum Shade Double Gordo. Creamy flavor wins. No surprise here. This stick moves like a hot driver demo on a Saturday afternoon. Mild, smooth, and an absolute crowd pleaser. It's a cigar everyone keeps stocked because it never disappoints. Next up is Nub Connecticut 466. Short strength surprises. Mighty in flavor and tiny in footprint, the Nub Connecticut's fly off the shelves among golfers who want premium taste without a back nine commitment. This is an under $10 cigar that outperforms every round. Now let's jump over to the premium section. Perdomo 20th Anniversary Maduro Churchill. Elegant depth dominates. This is a cigar golfers reach for when they want something special, but still sane on price. Rich, balanced, and polished, the Perdomo 20th stands out as a premium choice with real gravitas. Next premium cigar by GolfCask Nation is the Alec Bradley Double Broadleaf Chunk. Bold character commands, thick, powerful, and unapologetically full-flavored. This is the go-to for golfers who like the cigar with muscle. It's a statement stick, and GolfCask Nation has spoken. And now we're going to jump over to the Dream Sticks, the top shelfers. The Rocky Patel 60 Toro. Prestige meets power. Rich, celebratory, and unmistakably premium. The 60 Toro delivers refined, slow-burning power. It's the cigar golfers choose when they want a true statement smoke. And our final top shelf selection from GolfCask Nation is the Arturo Fuente Spanish Lonsdale. Tradition never disappoints. Fuente loyalists don't play around. This classic Lonsdale shape and signature Fuente balance make it a steady premium mover. Perfect for golfers who appreciate craft, heritage, and consistency. Different cigars, same truth. Golfers know what they like when the round is over. Those choices don't happen by accident. They come from the shared experience, honest conversations, and trust, which is exactly why GolfCask exists. If you want to explore cigars, whiskey, and golf without pretense, you'll find it at golfcast.com. Now let's slow things down a bit, because reflection isn't just personal, it's collective. And sometimes the strongest stories come from people who keep showing up when things get heavy. Take it away, Jason.
This is Jason Hardy, and this is my submission for Volume 4 of GolfCask Life, Reflections and Revelry. Wait, 2025 is almost over? Unbelievable. Since December is a time to close out the year and reflect on the goods, the bads, and the things we'll do better, it's only fitting that the theme of this issue of GolfCask Life is reflection and revelry. It's definitely been a year for us at JH Bards, so let's do some reflecting. The bad. Let's get this out of the way first. Cancer sucks. 2 of our employees, including one of our founders, are currently fighting this awful disease. We're standing by them and fighting along, though we know that ultimately they're the ones who will fight the daily fight along with their families. Both of these individuals are remarkably strong people, and we're confident they'll kick cancer's ass. Of course, we're always accepting prayers and thoughts of support, so please feel free to send those along as you see fit. That's all we'll say about that. the good. We do have a lot to be thankful for at JH Bards. We're surrounded by a great community in Blacksburg who supports us, maintain great relationships with our vendors and restaurant customers, and continue to be recognized for the work that we put into the industry. Since our move to Blacksburg in the mid-2024, we've been able to expand our brand across the state due to the amount of tourism we see for Virginia Tech and our mountain community. In April of this year, we successfully petitioned Virginia ABC to put 2 of our whiskeys in its stores, thereby giving us statewide sales capability. We hired 2 new salespeople, one in Northern Virginia and one in Virginia Beach, to help us reach new customers in hopes that they will like our product enough to come visit us if they're ever in Southwest Virginia. We also partnered with www.techsideline.com, an online sports blog that follows Virginia Tech athletics. Tech Sideline elected to do a barrel pick with us, and we think they selected a fantastic barrel of bourbon, which we then designed a label for and sold through our tasting room. Tech fans from all over the state ordered bottles online, which was really cool to see. Most recently, we did a barrel pick for Hampton-Sydney College to support their 250th anniversary as a liberal arts college in Virginia. Going forward, we look to continue our barrel pick program with other local and regional businesses to give them a branded bottle of whiskey that they can be proud of and to continue to expand our reach through the state of Virginia. Our brand ambassadors continue to add new restaurants to our carry list, which means that we're being served to their customers and being used in creative cocktails from their talented mixologists. We love walking into a restaurant and seeing a bottle of JH Bards on the shelf next to other Virginia-based and national brands. 2025 was a great year for us in terms of awards. We entered our Virginia Single Malt into the Denver International Spirits Competition and scored a double gold. We also entered our Skipper's Select Toasted Bourbon, silver medal, and Maple Whiskey, bronze medal, into the First Landing Cup, which was sponsored by the Virginia Distillers Association, and came away with medals there as well. Lots to celebrate, with a few new releases coming soon as well. The things we'll do better. Every bit of reflection needs to have a list of things we'd like to improve on, right? That list supposedly leads to a whole bunch of New Year's resolutions, but we're not quite ready to go there yet. Here are just a few things to expect from JH Bards in the coming months and years. First, expanded offerings such as gin to be distilled in our Blacksburg tasting room. If you've been to our tasting room, you know that we have a big, beautiful glass room just waiting for a small still to be installed in it. Our goal in 2026 is to bring gin production into the fray and to do it right here in Blacksburg. Increased age on our whiskeys. We're nearing 5 years old as a distillery, and a logical step is to utilize older barrels in our batches of bourbon and rye. This will lead to a deeper flavor profile and mirror our growth curve in terms of quality. Next, we'll look for additional opportunities to partner with local businesses. This is a cornerstone goal for us, and the goal for 2026 will be to expand our focus beyond the New River Valley region. Finally, we'll use our experience and access to people who excel at our craft to innovate within our industry. In June of this year, one of our founders took a trip with his dad and brother to Scotland. If you asked his dad, the trip was to focus on golf. If you ask him and his brother, it was to sample as much Speyside and Highland single malt whiskey as possible within a 7-day period. The trip proved to be an amazing one, full of new tasting experiences and conversations with distillers. We'll use some of this knowledge over the course of the next few months as we plan the evolution of JH Bards. So, despite our challenges, and by keeping our employees' health and minds and hearts at all times, we're excited for 2025 to roll on out, and we'll welcome 2026 with open arms. As always, please come see us in Blacksburg and mention that you saw us in GolfCask Life.
This wasn't a victory lap. It was a reminder that the craft businesses are built by people, and the people show up swinging, even when the odds aren't fair. We wish you the best of health, Jason. This kind of honesty matters, and that's why we created Poor Decisions, our way of ranking whiskey, courses, cigars, and lounges without gloss or gimmicks. Not everything deserves a medal. The good stuff stands up on its own. Now let's get precise, because improvement doesn't come from guessing. It comes from looking honestly at what's working and what isn't. That's true for tour players, and that is true for all of us. Taking Stock, What the End of a Season Should Teach Us, by LPGA coach John Lewellen. As we come to a close of the 2025 LPGA season, it's the perfect time for players and those who coach them to take stock of their games. With a full year's worth of shots, rounds, and performance data, we now have a large enough sample size to assess where players excelled and where improvements are needed heading into next season. The process includes analyzing both the LPGA stats and rankings and the strokes gained data. Together, these help us answer key key questions. Like, have the area we emphasize actually improved? What areas have been intentionally neglected? Did swing changes or equipment adjustments help or hurt? Where is the low-hanging fruit that we can immediately save a stroke per round? For tour pros, a single stroke per round is worth thousands of dollars. So, the clarity gained in this year-end review is critical. A tale of two players, same rankings, completely different games. Two players I coached finished the season just one ranking spot apart. Both had their best years of their careers. You would expect these stats to look similar, yet they couldn't be more different. Strokes gained measured a player's performance relative to their LPGA benchmark. It tells us not just what happened, but why. Here's how the two players stacked up. Player A, strokes gained total, 0.66. Stroke gained off the tee, minus 0.02. Strokes gained approach, minus 0.65. Strokes gained around the green, 0.25. Strokes gained putting, 0.83. Player B does it different. Strokes gained total, minus 0.49. Strokes gained off the tee, 0.36. Strokes gained approach, minus 0.25. Strokes gained around the green, minus 0.06. Strokes gained putting, minus 0.027. What can we learn from this? Player A loses strokes off the tee and on approach, but she's more than makes up for it with excellent chipping and putting. Player B drives it well enough to offset weaknesses around the green and on the greens. Why player A loses strokes off the tee? Player A is ranked 5th in driving accuracy, but 127th in driving distance. She hits it straight, but simply not far enough. That lack of distance explains her negative strokes gained off the tee, her longer approach shots, which contribute to her negative strokes gained approach. So, how do we fix it? 1. Equipment optimization. We'll test different driver heads and shafts to see if we can find distance without sacrificing accuracy. For some players, a small launch/spin optimization equals 5 to 15 yards. 2. Physical development. This is my first recommendation. Increasing strength and speed in the off-season through resistance training and structured swing speed program can be worth 2 clubs worth of distance over time. Player B, the mystery of poor GIR from the rough. Another one of my players had one of her best years as well, but a deep dive into her numbers showed a huge gap between greens in regulation from the fairway and then greens in regulation from the rough. Everyone hits fewer greens from the rough, but her drop-off was far greater than average. So we asked, target selection. Is she choosing conservative enough targets from poor lies? Lie reading. Does she know how the ball will come out? Hot, dead, spinning? Technique. Is her swing too shallow, causing flyers or heavy shots? Does she need more vertical attack angle from the rough? These are the kind of conversations that lead to meaningful improvement. How amateurs can take stock, too. Most golfers don't have shot length tracking every swing, but you don't need it. A simple feedback sheet after each round can highlight exactly what to practice. Here's an example. Post-round feedback sheet. Fairways hit, goal 78%. Greens in regulation, goal 13 of 18. Putts per round, goal less than 30. Par 5 scoring, goal under par. These are PGA Tour benchmarks, not expectations, but they show what drives scoring. If you're trying to break 100, 90, or even 80, improving these basic categories directly correlates with lower scores. A simple story with big results. A player once came to me struggling with his driver. I asked him what his best club in the bag was. My 7-iron. I hit at least 30 every practice session. How many drives do you hit? Well, maybe 10. So for 2 weeks, I want you to hit 25 drivers every practice session. 2 weeks later, he was driving it noticeably better. Simply from practicing the club he was struggling with. Final thoughts. Your off-season begins now. As the year winds down, I encourage every player, tour player, or even weekend golfer to take stock of their game. Identify the 1 or 2 areas that would most impact your scoring, build a plan for the winter, commit to it. Next season's scores start with the work you do right now. Now let's reflect on your game. Think about it. An honest adjustment that could save you a stroke around? That adds up a lot faster than you think. If you enjoy stories like that, not just tips, but why tips matter, that's the heartbeat of GolfCask Life magazine. Quarterly collectible, built for people who read slowly and pour deliberately. Now the part people skip and then wonder why they fall off. Because off-season doesn't just change with the weather, it changes routines. And if you don't choose your rhythm, the calendar chooses it for you. Summer Journey, Castle & Key Distillery, and visit. As the golf season begins to wind down, at least for some of us, while bourbon continues to flow for many, I want to express my gratitude for the interest in all things GolfCask. The themes of revelry and reflection bring to mind a recent trip to a distillery with some of my closest friends. We traveled to Lexington, Kentucky for a golf getaway, which included a visit to a distillery we hadn't experienced before, Castle & Key. What an amazing experience and place. Originally built in 1887 and restored in 2014, the distillery has a rich history. Colonel E.H. Taylor Jr. constructed Taylorton Station, a train depot that served as a welcoming gateway for guests arriving by rail. Castle & Key was formerly known as Old Taylor Distillery in March 2022. Castle & Key proudly released the first bourbon distilled in this historic site in nearly 50 years. The property is stunning and the reflection pool is uniquely shaped like a keyhole. Thank you once more for your support, and here's to an incredible 2026. Cheers, and if you get a chance, check out Castle & Key. It's an amazing place. Thanks, Chris George, for sharing your trip to Castle & Key, and also getting all philosophical and showing that passion doesn't need more intensity, it needs continuity. The off-season is where the serious golfer gains ground quietly. Not by suffering, but by staying connected. And when spring hits, you won't be starting over. You'll be picking up right where you left off. Here's the final pour. Good cigars reveal preference. Good whiskey reveals patience. Good coaching reveals truth. And a good off-season reveals commitment without the noise. Which brings us up to what's next. I'm excited about this release. Starting January 1st, we launch GolfCask Challenges. Monthly, intentional, and built around how we actually live. Each challenge follows our format: spark, sip, swing, adventure, and community. You'll get challenges to enjoy without turning your life into a syllabus, 19th hole options for those who want to compete, and a supplemental guide to build the skills that elevate your passions. This isn't class, this is passion with purpose. And it is built for the people who don't want motivation, they want rhythm. You'll find it inside a GolfCask. So here's the final pour. Don't let the calendar decide when passions matter. Spark, sip, swing at GolfCask. And cheers to all, and I wish you a Merry Christmas. Until next time, keep your heads down, your spirits high, and your glass half full. Spark, sip, swing at GolfCask.